Ridiculous.
Well, speaking of the BBC, Simon Jack is back in the news, isn't he? This is the business editor of BBC News, who broke the story about Nigel Farage and Coutts, didn't he?
Yeah, Simon, I'm not all right, Jack. So he has finally, after a week of pressure, his story about Nigel Farage, where he said that his accounts were closed down by Coutts purely for financial reasons, because he didn't meet the financial threshold that, in fact, Coutts does not have. Simon Jack, as the business editor, should have known that, but he didn't. He regurgitated a story on one piece of information, absolute rubbish. It took a week.
In old-fashioned parlance, it was wrong.
Yeah, it was wrong. It took a week for him to finally apologise, and what a mealy apology it was. He says, we based our reporting, and he says we have made a mistake. We based our reporting on information that was incomplete and inaccurate. It wasn't incomplete. It was utterly wrong.
Right.
Stop lying.
Right, and he also didn't check it, right? So he says it came from, and this is where it gets interesting. He says the information came from a trusted and senior source. Yeah. So is he alluding? Is he alluding to the fact that that was the boss of NatWest?
Yes, that's a suggestion. It is not proved in any way, but he sat next to Dame Alison Rose, who is the chief executive of NatWest and, by extension, Coutts, a couple of days before, or a day before this story appeared. So people are speculating that it was the chief executive of NatWest who told Simon Jack that Farage's banks were being closed for purely financial reasons.
Yes.
That wasn't true. If it was her and she was lying to improve the reputation of the bank, then, as Boris Johnson wrote on Saturday, and I quote, she really needs to go. Dame Alison, for whom does the bell toll?
Well, I think she needs to certainly come forward and either deny that the source was her.
She's got to do something.
Or admit that the source was her and apologise personally, because NatWest has already apologised. But how sort of ludicrously slow were the BBC to react to this? Because this story has now been out there for a couple of weeks.
They were stubbornly slow.
It took until 4 days ago for Simon Jack to say anything at all about the story, having gone very quiet. And then he basically clarified that the headline was wrong and that's now been corrected.
Yeah, as I said.
Now, suddenly, he's decided, this was late yesterday, to apologise completely profusely to Mr Farage. Yeah. Mr Farage, I would imagine, will not let it rest there.
Well, he's already said that he accepts the apologies, is very pleased that he has received this apology, and that the BBC, as we've discovered, is always very reticent to say sorry for anything. It believes it's holier than thou, and it never gets anything wrong. It got this disastrous...
It's getting everything wrong at the moment.
It has finally apologised, but we have nowhere near seen the end of this story, because the story now is who gave him that wrong information, who lied to him.